Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss an upload, and join the conversation over at the Agranac Cult Discord.
Today I'm going to be crafting a new piece for my DM screen, or as I like to call it, my Doomsayer Screen, as that is what the DM is called in my homebrew game called Deathlord. I will be doing a raised logo design much like the armorial achievements that already adorn the screen. So, I get onto Photoshop to lay out the logo for printing. I thought of doing it in different colors, and so I messed with that for a while, maybe too long, as I really just liked the original green. But then I thought of doing a coffin shape in the background to give it a little more styling, so I messed around with that for a bit and reprinted. Next, I cut out the printed design. This is on cardstock to give it a bit more thickness. Then, it's off to the garage. I have some thin plywood that I'm using here. I roughly mark the shape and then, you guessed it, cut it out. Next, I sand the plywood and then spray some 3M Super 77 on both the back of the printed logo and the plywood, and then let it sit to tack up a bit. All that's left to do is place the logo on the plywood. Then, shellac. I did 3 coats, letting it dry in between. I ended up bringing the logo into the house to dry because it was really cold outside. Once that was done, I moved on to cutting out the design on my bandsaw. I then used a Sharpie to make the sides black, but I didn't end up liking that, so I ended up painting the sides green to give it a little bit more pop. Then, after all that, I decided to cut out the logo, separating it from the coffin that was in the background. It just didn't look good to me. Then I Sharpied the sides again. Next, I punched in some guides so that I could drill through the plywood. I did 2 holes like this with a very thin drill bit. Then I decided to do the sides the right way and use some acrylic paint, since there was no way I was going to get a Sharpie into some of the small corners and edges. The placement I chose was under one of these armorial achievements, so I popped it off, reusing the very tiny nails. I placed the Deathlord sign in my desired location and secured it with the recycled nails. And finally, I Sharpied the nail heads to get rid of the shine. Now, I've got a nice upgraded Doomsayer screen, which is still a long way off from what I want in the end, but it's getting there. Now, as you can see, I had done signs like this, like with the coat of arms, but it took me a lot longer to design and lay out than I wanted, and I'm reminded of a quote from Bruce Lee that says, "The creative process is a process of surrender, not control." And I think we can all use that advice, especially when dungeon mastering or doomsaying at our game tables. Sometimes we want to control everything, and it just plain makes it worse. But maybe that's a topic for another video. I guess I should show you the Doomsayer side of the screen. The first panel is mostly in-town charts like food and pipeweed. Next is a little reminder to fail forward and random encounters in different environments. Next, a reminder to be a fan of the characters, and then a panel of critical failure charts. Very handy, especially for my players. All in all, I think the project turned out just right, and I can't wait to show it off on game night. If you are interested in the progress of my homebrew version of D&D called Deathlord, make sure you sign up for our Patreon or our Substack. We will begin to upgrade and send out zines in the coming months. Thanks for stopping by Agranac Studios, and we'll see you on the next one. Later. This video was brought to you by the generous support of our patrons. Consider becoming a patron so you can help us make more content like this, or get yourself a t-shirt below. Later.
Alright, do this, and do that, and do this, and do that. And watch this video.